It is Women's History Month, and despite decades of making contributions in law enforcement, research suggests that women are still underrepresented in that law enforcement community. And joining us this morning to talk more about the efforts to increase their presence is Brian Marvel from the Peace Officers Research Association of California. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, glad. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about, just expand on the idea of just the benefits of adding more female officers in law enforcement.
Well, it just increases the, it helps us with our recruiting and retention, which is a problem that we're facing not only here in California, but nationally. They increase to the voices that we have inside the law enforcement, so you're sort of not having this echo chamber of just all males, and you can break it up by tapping this pool of professionals, because we're always looking for the best qualified candidates. I think sometimes people see reports like this and they're like, oh, they're going to try to lower the standards, but that's not what this is about. What this is about is tapping a pool of qualified candidates and showing them that this is a great profession to be a part of, and we need their voices within law enforcement and the community. So it's been a huge plus to put this out.
Yeah, and there is a disparity. I'm not going to pressure you to pull some numbers off the top of your head, but there is a very glaring disparity nationwide and locally, correct?
Yeah, so what you're looking at is we're finding that about 14% of the agencies actually are made up of women.
Wow, that is very low.
It is, and that's why we're trying to support the 30 by 30 initiative, and the goal for that is to have 30% women in law enforcement by 2030. There's about 400 agencies nationally that have committed to this program, and in California we have 49, which is the most anywhere in the United States. So clearly California is grasping this, and they want to be a part of it. So the goal is to increase the amount of women officers within agencies, to add to the expertise and knowledge that's already there. And I think when you're tapping a pool of qualified candidates, it only helps us when it comes to our recruiting and retention, because what recruited me 25 years ago in law enforcement isn't going to recruit kids of today.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that we're always improving and upgrading our recruitment strategies, and focusing on women is just a part of that.
And shaping that strategy, I'm assuming that you're talking to folks who are not just already part of some department, but maybe those who have shown interest and maybe for one reason or another have chosen not to enter. So what are some of the barriers that you're hearing from folks as to why maybe they're not entering the field, and maybe even from some folks who maybe there might be a bit of a retention issue?
Well, one of the things is just that work-life balance. We're seeing a lot of that's a real big issue here, and it's probably just outside of even law enforcement. So trying to focus to keep the female officers that we have, and also benefits the male officers. It's like the San Diego Police Department has a child care facility where we work odd hours, we work weird shifts.
Right.
If you're a single parent, or even if you're family, you have the ability to, if you get called out, you have a safe place to bring your child. Those are important issues that keep people in the profession. But the barriers that we're seeing is making sure that the testing that we're doing is open to women, but also to the men, to make sure that we focus it on the people that are trying to get into the profession. One of the other things that we heard about too was when they see a woman that is a peace officer out there recruiting women, other women are like, well, I never really thought about being a peace officer, so now I'm going to take a look at that. So trying to get that representation to show people that we're a very diverse organizations. We want the best qualified people, because that's what the community demands, and we need to open it up to everybody possible for this occupation, because it's a great job.
Yeah.
It's a great secure job, comes with a pension, comes with health care. Those are good middle-class jobs that we need to focus on and build out.
Again, not going to try and put you on the spot, but is there anywhere in particular that folks should go for resources? Yeah,
absolutely. The 30 by 30 initiative is a real good proposal. The California Chiefs of Police do the Women in Law Enforcement. You can go to their website. You can obviously go to our website and pull up our research brief on women in law enforcement. We have a lot of links and research topics that'll help you.
Great. Ryan, thank you so much for your time this morning.
I appreciate
you stopping by.
Thanks.